You've been lied to by every space picture. The moon is not close to Earth. Real scale makes the gap terrifying. Space is mostly deadly emptiness. You think you know how far the moon is. You do not. And I can prove it to you right now using nothing but a marble and the space in your room. By the end of this video, you are going to look up at the night sky differently forever. Because what I am about to show you is not just surprising, it is going to genuinely disturb you. Ready? Let us break your brain. Okay? I want you to imagine something. Actually, no, do this with me. Pick up a marble, any marble. One of those little glass ones, the kind that kids lose under furniture and never find again. Got one? Good. Now hold it between your thumb and finger. Look at it. That marble, that tiny, smooth, perfect sphere you are holding right now, is the Earth. Not a symbol of Earth, not a cute little representation. I mean, if you took our entire planet, all 12,742 kilometers of it, every ocean, every mountain, every forest, every city, every single living thing that has ever existed, and you shrunk it down to the size of that marble, that is what you would get. 1.27 centimeters across. That is us. That is home. Now here is the question that is going to unravel everything you thought you knew. Where is the moon? Go ahead. Take a real guess. Is it right next to the marble, like sitting on the same table a few centimeters away? Maybe across the table? Across the room? How far does your gut tell you? Whatever you just guessed, I'm telling you right now you are wrong, and not by a little. You are wrong by so much that when I show you the real answer, you are going to feel something shift in your chest. Let us find out. First, we need to lock down our scale, because if we do not, this whole thing falls apart. The real Earth has a diameter of about 12,742 kilometers. Our marble Earth is 1.27 centimeters. So what is the conversion? Simple division, 12,742 kilometers divided by 1.27 centimeters. That gives us roughly 10,000 kilometers for every 1 centimeter in our model. Every single centimeter. 1 centimeter on your desk equals 10,000 kilometers of actual space. Got it, good, lock that in. Because everything we do from here depends on that number. Now before we go hunting for the moon, let us do a quick reality check. Let us see what other things look like at this scale. Because this is where it starts getting uncomfortable. At this scale, where Earth is a 1.27 centimeter marble, Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on the planet, towering 8.848 kilometers into the sky, is 0.000884 millimeters tall. You cannot see that. You literally cannot see it with your naked eye. If you ran your finger across the surface of your marble Earth, you would not feel Everest. You would not feel the Himalayas. You would not feel anything. The Mariana Trench, the deepest point on Earth, about 10.984 kilometers down into the ocean floor at this scale, is 0.0010984 millimeters deep, invisible. Here is what that means. Your marble, that cheap little glass sphere you are holding, is actually smoother than the real Earth would be at that scale. All the mountains, all the valleys, all the oceans, all the continents, at marble scale, a perfect glassy sphere. Every city you have ever visited, every road you have ever driven, every war ever fought, every empire that ever rose and fell, all of it sitting on a surface so smooth you could not detect it if you tried. Let that sit for a second, because now we go looking for the moon. The real distance from Earth to the moon is about 384,400 kilometers. We know our scale, 1 centimeter equals 10,000 kilometers. So let us do the math. 384,400 kilometers divided by 1,0000, that gives us 38.44 centimeters. Convert that to meters, 0.3844 meters. The moon in our marble model is sitting 38.44 centimeters away from Earth. Not next to it, not across the table, not on the other side of the desk. Within arm reach. If you are sitting down right now, stretch your arm about 38 centimeters. That is where the moon is. But wait, it gets weirder, because the moon itself at this scale is not even marble sized. The real moon has a diameter of about 3,474 kilometers. At our scale, that is 3.474 millimeters. Not the size of a marble, not the size of a small pea, more like a peppercorn. So here is what we have got. A marble and a peppercorn sitting about 38 centimeters apart. That is the Earth-Moon system. No bridge of light connecting them, no rocks floating. No magical tether you can see, just emptiness. About 38 centimeters of absolutely nothing. And this is our closest neighbor in the entire solar system. Our cosmic companion, our nearest major object in space, a peppercorn, about 38 centimeters away, smaller than something you'd grind into your soup. Here's the part that breaks me every time I think about it. In 1969, humans looked at that peppercorn sitting about 38 centimeters away from their marble and said, "Let's go there." We had never left the marble before. We didn't know if it was even possible. But we built a rocket out of metal and math and raw human audacity. And we walked on the peppercorn. And when the astronauts turned around and looked back, they saw the marble, hanging in black, alone. Astronaut Edgar Mitchell, who actually stood on the moon on that peppercorn in real life, said that looking back at Earth hit him like a freight train. He described it as an instant global consciousness. Everything he'd ever known, everyone he'd ever loved, every story, every song, every war, every laugh, all of it, on a marble, floating in nothing. And we left it. We walked away from the only home we've ever known, just to see what a peppercorn looked like up close. That's not just exploration. That's madness. Beautiful, breathtaking madness. Okay, deep breath. Because we're not stopping at the moon. Let's go bigger. What about the sun? The real distance from Earth to the sun is about 149.6 million kilometers. At our scale, 1 centimeter per 10,000 kilometers. That's 14,960 centimeters. 149.6 meters from your marble. Now, how big is the sun at this scale? The real sun is about 109 times wider than Earth. So 109 times our 1.27 centimeter marble. The sun at marble scale is a glowing ball about 1.38 meters wide, about the height of a tall person, sitting about 150 meters down the road. Let me paint this for you. You're holding a marble. About 38 centimeters to your left is a peppercorn. And about 150 meters away down the street, there's a glowing ball the size of a person. And that's the sun. Nobody shows you this in textbooks. They show you neat little diagrams with all the planets crammed together in a tidy row, and your brain thinks, oh, the solar system is cozy. It is not. It is terrifyingly empty. If you walked at a normal human pace about 5 kilometers per hour, from your marble to the scale sun, it would take you about 1.8 minutes. About 2 minutes of walking, just across the space between Earth and the sun, in a model, where Earth is a marble. And the real distance? Light, the fastest thing in the universe, takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds to cross it. You are a marble. Okay, you're holding your marble, you've got your peppercorn, you've mentally placed your giant glowing sunball about 150 meters away. Now let's ask the question that breaks everything. What's the nearest star? Not the sun. The next one. Proxima Centauri. It's 4.24 light years away. Now a light year is the distance light travels in 1 year. That's about 9.46 trillion kilometers. So 4.24 light years is roughly 40 trillion kilometers. At our scale, dividing by 10,000, that's 4 billion centimeters. Convert that to kilometers. 40,000 kilometers. Let me say that again. At marble scale, where Earth is 1.27 centimeters, the nearest star is 40,000 kilometers away. That's roughly the circumference of the real Earth. The gap between stars in our model is comparable to going all the way around the real Earth. The space between stars is so obscenely and comprehensibly vast that even when you shrink Earth to a marble, the nearest star is still planetary scale distances away. And our galaxy, the Milky Way, contains somewhere between 100 billion and 400 billion stars, most of them with their own planets, their own marbles, their own peppercorns, their own empty spaces. And the Milky Way? It's one galaxy. One out of roughly 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. 2 trillion. each with billions or trillions of stars, each star potentially hosting marbles of its own. And yet, as far as we know, yours is the only marble where someone ever picked one up and wondered where the moon was. So here's what we know now. If Earth were a marble, the moon would be a peppercorn sitting about 38 centimeters away. The sun would be a 1.4 meter glowing ball about 150 meters down the road. The nearest star would be tens of thousands of kilometers away. And the universe would be so staggeringly absurdly enormous that every number we use is just a polite way of saying we don't have words for this. But here's the thing. None of that emptiness makes you smaller. It makes the fact that you exist here on this specific marble circling this specific sun with this specific peppercorn hanging in your sky more extraordinary than any scale model could ever capture. Because you are made of atoms that were forged inside dying stars. You are the universe looking at itself. You are a pattern of stardust that learned to ask questions. And somehow from the surface of a marble, you figured out how big everything else is. That's not insignificant. That's not small. That is the most significant thing there is. Next time you look up at the moon, remember the peppercorn. Remember the 38 centimeters. Remember the emptiness. And remember that you tiny, brief, beautiful you looked up and wondered. That's everything. If this broke your brain in the best way, send it to someone before tomorrow's video drops. And if you want your sense of reality destroyed again tomorrow, subscribe now, because we're just getting started.